Hello everyone, good evening everyone. Welcome to the first module of the Build for Excellence program. So my name is Eke Manuel Edkachi and I'm going to be your tutor. So today we're going to be talking about introduction to real estate. Now this is the class for anybody that is still trying to, build their foundation in real estate, or you're still trying to build a very, very solid foundation in real estate. You've been into the industry for a while and you've not gotten acquainted to some of the terms, then this class is for you. So stay tuned, grab your cup of coffee, grab your book and your pen because you're about to learn some key important things. So we're going to be talking about introduction to real estate. This is the first module and we're going to be starting off with defining real estate. Now, what is real estate? I know that some people, when they hear real estate, a lot of things come to mind. Some people, the land comes to mind. Some people, houses come to mind. Different things come to your mind. But let me give you a simple definition of real estate. Real estate simply means land and anything attached to it, whether natural or man-made. Now, land or anything attached to it, whether natural or man-made. So it can be lands, it can be buildings, it can be houses, it can be factories, it can be hotels, malls, land and anything attached to it is real estate. So even agriculture is also real estate. Mining is also part of real estate. Land and anything attached to it. There's one of my clients that usually say something. He said the reason why he loves investing in properties is because when he buys a land, if he builds a house on that land, or if somebody comes and builds a house close to that land will appreciate in value. If he digs that land and finds that that land, there's an oil well down or there's a mineral resources beneath it, that land will also appreciate. So in any way, it's a win-win. The price of land constantly appreciates. You understand? So real estate is land and anything attached to it, whether natural or man-made. But there's a definition I usually give to real estate. I usually define real estate as the ability to add value to a landed property. You understand? So this is the vision I give to myself as a developer, that real estate can be defined as your ability to add value to a land. So if you can pick a land and add value to it, making the price to move from maybe 2 million naira to 3 million naira, or from 100 million naira to 120 million naira, or from a billion naira to 1.2 billion naira, 1.3 billion naira, then I've actually done real estate. You understand? So real estate is not just about buildings, it's an entire system of land, ownership, price, and value. So we're going to be going to the next one. Why does real estate matters? Now, there are 4 reasons why that I wrote here. Number 1 is it is a basic human need, shelter. Now, there's something I find out that real estate falls within the 3 human amenities, the 3 basic human amenities. The 3 basic amenities is food, clothing, and shelter. Now, when it comes to food, if that food, every food we eat here on earth is manufactured from the soil, you understand? And it is on the ground, it is real estate. So without land, there can be no food. Without land, we cannot feed. Then the second one is clothing. Now, for you to get your clothes, you need some of the fabrics are made of cotton, and cotton is a tree which is also real estate. So without your land, you cannot plant that fabric that you're going to use to make your clothes. Then we now have shelter. Now, without land, there can be no shelter, because you cannot go and start living on top of water. You cannot live in the air. You're not a witch. You have to live on ground. I have to build your house on land. So that is why land is the most valuable asset in the whole world. In fact, the most valued asset in the whole world is real estate. It supersedes, even though you combine stock, bond, crypto, add all the assets together, even gold, they cannot amount to real estate. Real estate is over $300 trillion worth. So that is the combination of all the asset class combined. That is how massive real estate is. It's a very, very basic human need. Without it, we cannot survive. Now, number 2 here is that it is the world's largest asset class. So real estate is the world's largest asset class, worth over $300 trillion. So if you know that you want to build wealth, what's an asset? An asset is something that helps you store your money or store value without depreciating, rather it appreciates. So if you want to store anything, you want to store your wealth, you want to store your money, and you want it to be appreciating rather than depreciating, then real estate is for you. Then number 3, it is a wealth creation tool. If you want to create wealth, real estate. There's a statistic that said that over 70% of every millionaire you find in every city made their money from real estate. It is hard for you to see a wealthy person that is not doing real estate, even partially or maybe full time. So it is a wealth creation tool. if you know you really, really want to be wealthy on earth, you need to think real estate, because the greatest investment on earth is earth. So even as a realtor, if you want to make money, you need to come into this industry. Just this year, real estate in Nigeria amounted as the number one Q1 of 2025. The Nigerian real estate sector was the number one sector, was the biggest sector in the whole of Nigeria, amounting to over 16 trillion naira. What does this simply mean? If you're looking for where the money is, that industry where the money is no longer in oil and gas, it's no longer in even clothing, textile, in trade, in commodities. It is now in real estate, because real estate is still infant in this country. Now, number four is that it contributes heavily to every economy. Look at the likes of Dubai, Singapore. These guys, they make millions and billions of dollars from their real estate. Tourism is part of real estate. Real estate is the beauty of creation. Real estate is the transformation of every nation. Without real estate, a village cannot transform into a city. Without real estate, there is no headquarters. Without real estate, there is no beauty. You understand? So now let's move on to the branches of real estate. So the branches of real estate, there are 5 major categories of real estate, and the number one is the popular one, which is the residential real estate. This is the most common one. This is where we live, the place you just live, your house, your home. This is residential real estate. We have bungalows, duplexes, apartments, terraces. Then the second one, we now have commercial real estate. Now, commercial real estate is where people use for their day-to-day activities, their businesses. You understand? So a lot of real estate fall under this. In fact, you will hear some people telling you about hospitality. Even hospitality is part of commercial real estate. So commercial real estate has to do with the office buildings, shopping malls, hotels, restaurants. They are under here. Then we now move to the third one, which is the industrial real estate. So here, this is the real estate that is used for manufacturing, production, and storage. So where we have logistic hubs, we have industries, we have factories, we have warehouses. They are under the industrial real estate. You understand? And in Enugu, the industrial zone of Enugu is 9th mile. So most of the properties in 9th mile are for this purpose. Now, if you go to Lagos, we have the Petroleki, where Dangote has his refinery, and many other developments in that axis. But that is a major industrial zone. So in industrialization, industrial real estate is a very, very component part of real estate, because without industrial real estate, most of the things we are using today will not be manufactured, and they usually have their separate place where they are usually manufactured. So now the fourth one is agricultural real estate. Now this is the reason why we have food. So where we have farmlands, we have ranches, silos, plantations, etc. So agricultural real estate, self-explanatory. Then we now move to the fourth one, which is special purpose real estate. So now properties built for a unique function. So we now have the schools, we have the hospitals, we have the airports, built for a specific purpose, rather than a generic purpose. So here we have the special purpose real estate.